Welcome to Lanterns Live, the only live stream YouTube channel dedicated solely to Green Lantern. Today's going to be maybe a little bit less Green Lantern, a little bit more Batman, because it is Batman Day. But usually when it comes to Batman Day, I'll go on socials, post that Ethan Van Sciver art of Hal Jordan punching out Batman, and then call it a day. Today I decided to be more civil, and let's sort of celebrate Batman a bit. So I brought on a massive Batman fan from Gotham City tonight. It's Ryan Doell.
Yo!
Ryan, how's it going?
It's going good. You couldn't put Batman punching Guy Gardner in the face?
So that's the thing is like, so Jeff Johns put that in I think it's Rebirth.
Right.
Where Hal Jordan knocks him out. And then later down the road, I think when Ivan Reis was doing the artwork, he did a shot of Batman punching out Hal. So it's like it's almost the exact same shot too. It's like,
oh, I remember.
Behind. Yeah. And then the Guy Gardner one, it's so easy. Like, but for the most part, like, listen, guy's an asshole and deserves it. So like, that's never the point I'm trying to make with that post. But at the same time, I'm like, there's too much division in this world right now. And I'm like, I don't need to be posting that. Also, like, I like Batman. I'm a Batman fan, so it kind of feels weird. Like, I don't want to like start shit on the internet where I post that picture again, and then people are like Batman fans are coming after me and hating me, and I'm like, hey, I'm all about like positivity. So,
if anything, you're a Blue Lantern. This should be the Blue Lantern podcast.
Yeah, I'm wearing my my Blackest Night ring today because Blackest Night meets Dark Night kind of thing.
Okay, that works.
Batman's worn a few lantern rings, right? He's worn
yellow for sure,
yellow and green for a hot minute. But yeah, okay. So we are going to be talking a lot about Batman. I really want to do a deep dive into Batman and Green Lantern's relationship over the years. Yeah. But before we get to that, and I ask this all of my guests when the first time they come on the show is, what is your secret origin with Green Lantern? When's the first time you were aware of the character Green Lantern?
Oh, DC Superpowers, the action figures.
Okay.
So that was Superpowers was my big gateway drug into DC, probably more than anything. Like, didn't really know, I was so little, and it was just like, who's that? Well, that's and it's kind of funny because I don't know how you know as a kid, but when you look at Batman, you know who Batman and Robin are. You just know who Superman is. You know who Wonder Woman is. So it's like It's the other characters, like the Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkman. Like, you don't know who necessarily they are until you get kind of introduced in that way. So it was, I would say, Green Lantern is where I first kind of like knew about. Like, that's the first thing I think of. Is like first thing I ever saw of them. Superpowers, and then I didn't really start reading Green Lantern, of course, being a teenager of the 90s. Kyle Rayner,
right? Is he your dude? As far as Green Lantern goes,
he's my dude. I would say it's just it's no different than like Tim Drake is my Robin. You know, Tim Drake's my Robin, and yeah, Kyle Rayner he's my Lantern. But it's funny how it's like. I don't know if clearly you must remember this series. There was for a while there, Kyle had his own Green Lantern Corps in the 90s.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then that's what really got me, because I thought everyone looked so cool.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to pick this up. Yeah. And then from there, this is how I always bought comics, even as a teenager. Like, when I was first started reading comics as a kid, I would find something that I'd be like, oh, now I need to go back and I got to know more about this, because that's how all of us, when we're interested in something, that's what we do. We consume. We try to get as much info as we can. Of course, back then we had this was even before trading cards, and this was where that was trading cards was our Wikipedia. So we had to go back and find back issues and stuff like that. So that's when I started learning about John Stewart and his Green Lantern Corps. And then there was the Green Lantern Corps comics,
right,
as well. So that's when I started picking all that kind of stuff up. But man, I love that stuff. I love the Corps in general. I think they're just so weird.
Yeah, it's really, really a weird, diverse group of people. I have like this Chase Salon PBC thing. Like,
yeah,
it's like the Star Wars Cantina, but superheroes.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle's my dude. I always point out this quarter scale statue of Kyle from XM Entertainment. I think it's XM. Is it just XM? Is that what it's called?
I think so. Yeah.
XM Studios. My wife got that for me, and it's nuts. Also, I don't think I've ever done this on this podcast. And since I'm wearing a short sleeve T-shirt, I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but since like 1999 or something, like I have the Kyle.
Oh, you've got the Kyle.
I've got the Kyle logo tattoo on my arm.
Awesome.
He's my man, dude. And you know what? I grew up with Super Friends because I'm probably a little bit older than you are. And I remember getting off a spinner rack in 1990, Green Lantern #1, which was, I think, volume 3. Green Lantern #1, and then a Batman issue, which I was going to pull out, but I forgot to. It's like 461 or something, or it's like 6. I don't know. It's like a random Batman issue. Right. And on the cover has the Joker with a Tommy gun, laughing with bats flying around him, and then Batman's silhouette behind that. But it was Joker with a Tommy gun. And at that time, like, Dick Tracy was coming out, and so it was like all about Tommy guns.
Yeah.
I
remember the cover. I do remember the cover.
Yeah, I don't remember what number exactly. It's a weird number, but like it's not like, it's not like, 500 or 525. Like it's like literally like 461 or 641 or but those are the first 2 comics I ever got.
Nice.
Were those 2. And so like Batman had just come out like the year before. And so like Tim Burton's movie was like mind-blowing. Like when I was a kid, I think it was 89, I was 14. I was born in 77. So yeah, Super Friends for me. Do you have like I'm thinking of like Green Lantern and Batman sort of interactions and their history together. I don't know if you've been reading the current run of Green Lantern by Jeremy Adams, but there's a bit in there, Doel, that's I thought was amazing. I'm surprised no one had thought of it before, but there. If you've already read it, let me know. But
I am so far behind on Green Lantern comics.
That's fine. This is one of the coolest things. So Hal Jordan, captured by Amanda Waller, his ring's taken away. I believe he gets his ring back, but there's no power. He doesn't have a power battery, and so he's escaping this like Argus Island or whatever it is. Meets up with the Flash. The Flash like runs holding Hal. Runs across the water, or there's like a bike or something. Anyway, they get to an island. Hal Jordan and the Flash get to this island, go into this secret cave that has a punch pad, and it opens up. And inside it is a bat jet.
Nice.
And so Hal Jordan has this code to this bat jet. And I was like, why would Hal Jordan have this code? Batman's not going to give Green Lantern a code to access to his jets. And then it's explained that because Batman's secretive and he's creating all this tech and creates jets, that he needs someone to test fly them.
Oh, of course.
And so I'm like, duh. Like, I can't believe like Jeff Johns never came up with a scenario that mentioned that Hal Jordan is Batman's test pilot. And it made total sense. And I'm like, this is fucking amazing. And so he gets in this jet and he's talking to the Flash and he's like, usually these things explode. Like Batman's gone through like a ton of these and they always explode, which is fine. If you're Green Lantern, it's a perfect test pilot because he has a ring and he's not going to get hurt. Except this time his ring doesn't have power. And so it's like this really cool, like tense scenario where I'm just like, this is amazing. Like I feel like there's a lot of sort of butting heads with Batman and Green Lantern.
Right. Well, of course.
But this moment was like, man, I love Batman being civil with Hal Jordan, and it just hit so right. Mm-hmm. So I highly recommend if you get a chance, read Green Lantern by Jeremy Adams. It's back to like the Jeff Johns style of the core, and all the lanterns are there. Hal, Guy, John, Kyle, Jessica, Simon. Did I say John? They're all there.
Right.
So highly recommend it. So like with Guy Gardner getting punched out by Batman, classic. Hoping to see it in the DCU, which we'll get to in a little bit because Dave Brown has a question that I'll bring up in a little bit. With them seemingly constantly butting heads, and there's like animated gifs or memes of from like I think it's from Justice League War, the animated series, which is taken from like New 52, where they first meet, and how or like. Batman takes the ring off of Hal Jordan without him noticing. And then like Batman giving Hal the beat down and just like really, really like they've always seemed to be sort of butting heads because you have the Dark Knight who lives in the shadow and you have a Green Lantern whose name means light.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the characters together? Do you like seeing the competition between them?
Oh, always. Right. Yeah. It's that when you have a team dynamic like the Justice League, like, again, like Avengers or X-Men or even like Doom Patrol, right? You need those characters that are always going to like kind of butt heads a little bit. And Batman's always like, he's a bit of a shit disturber, but not in the same way as like Guy Gardner's a shit disturber.
Right.
Right. So that's where those two I feel like have a dynamic because they're both stubborn.
Yeah.
They're both like feel they are in the right, except one's really cold and calculating and the other one's a loudmouth. So it's like you've got like, and I feel like Hal Jordan's he's not Guy Gardner in the fact that he's a loudmouth, but Guy Gardner definitely sees himself as like a big deal. Like all lanterns, yeah. I feel all lanterns kind of do at a point. Because I mean, they're Green Lanterns. It makes total sense. Like these are fearless people. They do not care. Like,
right.
You know, and so when you've got someone again like Batman, who's very just like to his own book. He's not to the book. He's to his own book. And if you're not following his book like his kids do, his army of children, right, then you become annoying to him. And I think but he's also on the flip side of Batman and also on the flip side of Green Lantern. They are heroes at the end of the day. They understand the bigger picture and they do understand each other.
Right.
Just sometimes someone needs to get punched in the mouth.
I mean, it has to happen. Like you have all that pent up, like, goody two-shoeness of everybody. They're all heroes. Everybody knows who they are. At some point, you need to take out your aggression. I do like that Batman and Guy are very similar. Again, like they're very stubborn, but like you mentioned that Batman's very calculating, whereas Guy is fly by the seat of your pants.
Yep,
and also like very careless. Very careless. Like, because when you have the most powerful weapon in the universe that has like an automatic like save function where if you like get tossed in the ocean, it'll automatically create a bubble around you and protect you so you don't drown. Like when it has like built-in functionality like that, you can be even more fearless, which is crazy. So you tend not to give a shit about like what Batman says. I can picture like Guy Gardner just thinking that Batman thinks he's full of himself. The thing is, Batman doesn't have those safeguards. He has to think everything out like perfectly, and he has to think ahead, and he has to make sure that he stays alive because the only protection he has is body armor.
That's it. End of the day, and a butler.
So Batman's kind of like cooler in that respect for me. Is like he's a guy. He might be a little bit crazy, but he's a guy, and that's it. Who's doing this stuff that a Green Lantern can do without any of the sort of protection.
Right.
So, like, I mean, listen, Batman's the coolest. Batman, like, today's Batman Day, and I get, like, listen, I get it. It seems like Batman Day happens, like, 5 times a year, but it only happens once a year, right? It seems like every time I turn around, I'm like, I got to go find that picture. I get it. I kind of wish, and I'm hoping that we do get, like, a Green Lantern Day. I think Hal Jordan's birthday is February 22nd. That's, I think, a day that fans try to make Green Lantern Day. And then there's also, like, the first appearance of Hal Jordan. I mean, I don't know. I think there is a Green Lantern Day, but I don't think it's as celebrated as Batman Day.
Well, you got to remember a lot of these days when these happen, it starts with the fans. It always starts that way. May the 4th was never Star Wars Day. I remember before May the 4th became this big, giant Star Wars commercial day of like reveals and releases and Disney park drops and Disney nights and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I remember people getting mad at me on Facebook back in early Facebook days before it became what it was. And I would always put on May the 4th be with you, because I thought it was a really funny pun. And then somehow I thought I was the one that created it because I thought I was funny. And then it turns out some other people did as well. I guess it's pretty low-hanging fruit as a pun.
Yeah.
And it's somehow all of a sudden, like people would, I could find the post every May 4th. Like if I logged on to Facebook again, I could probably find it where people are replying going, you made that same joke last year. You made that. And all of a sudden now it's like, you can't avoid May the 4th.
Right.
Like you cannot.
I try so hard.
I don't.
Well, I mean, I've been a Star Wars fan since as long as I remember. I remember seeing Empire Strikes Back in the theater, but not like, I just had images of like the Tauntaun being cut open and Darth Vader's head with Luke's face in the mask. Like those images stuck in my, 3-year-old brain. But my mom said I would grab the attachment for the vacuum, the straight one that you get in the ceiling and corners, and I would run around swinging that around like a lightsaber. I love Star Wars. I have like 6 copies on VHS from when I was a kid, and inside the regular standard pan and scan version, the box set, you open it up and it says the release dates of each of them. And I remember celebrating. I would celebrate on May 25th. That would be my Star Wars Day. Well, and then to the point where and then to the point where like when it comes to May 24th or May the 4th, I'm like, no. I'm the old man sitting on my porch just yelling at all the kids walking by saying May the 4th. I'm like, May 25th, 1977. I was there.
But that's the thing. I don't even feel like Star Wars Day is not even a day anymore. It's become the month. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's.
Well, I mean, Mark Hamill's always posting like May the 5th and May the 6th be with you and like all that stuff. And it's fine. I still like Star Wars.
Well, it starts with 501st, right? Like, because they did their thing.
Oh, do they do that on the 1st?
Right, on May 4th. And also it goes all the way to May 25th. And so it's like, it is the month, right? And no one else really gets that. Like even Superman, I know Superman has a day down in Metropolis, Illinois.
Okay.
Is that where
I think
Metropolis is?
I think so.
I know they do at least a Superman weekend every year, right? So they do like the big events.
But DC seems to be getting on board with the Superman Day. I want to say James Gunn may have announced Superman Legacy, as it was called, on Superman Day.
Like if every character gets a day, that our year is going to fill up very fast.
Well, I mean, here, let's just take. Well, I mean, I don't know about the Marvel end of things as far as their days go. I don't know if they have to have like a Spider-Man Day. I'm assuming.
I think they have a Spider-Man Day, but it's not like it's not Batman Day. I will tell you that.
I mean, let's just get a Justice League, one for each Justice League member. The original lineup. That's only 7 days out of the year.
Yeah,
we could deal with that.
Here's what I think they should bring back. I think they should don't pick necessarily a day. Like, let's say they do this weekend because I mean, Superman or Batman Day always is like the third Saturday of September, right? Instead of doing Batman Day, bring back DC Fandom.
Dude.
Bring it back. Do a whole celebration of DC. This way you're not worrying about Batman Day. You're not worrying about Superman Day, Wonder Woman Day, all that kind of stuff. You got all of it. You celebrate it. And again, it's going to turn it into May the 4th. I don't care. But it's like, this is a great time to like preview a new show. Talk about a movie in the works, like comic books.
DC Fandom, I believe it was 2 different days.
It was, yeah.
It was marked in my calendar. Me and my wife sitting on the couch with our breakfast burritos or whatever, like going ape shit. The DC Universe app was big then too. Like I love that thing. DC Daily. My friend Hector was on it, and Whitney Moore is also a friend. Like I need to get these people on some more. But it was one of those things where, like, being a DC fan at that point was super fucking awesome. Now, it almost seems like James Gunn's out there doing his own DC Daily and his own fandom, like, all the time, which I get a lot of people, every time I post any sort of story that includes James Gunn, there's a handful of people that are always like, man, this guy sure likes listening to himself talk, or why is this guy always on my screen, or why is this? And I'm like, I'm eating it up.
I'm eating it up too. Plus, marketing is not what it was. Right? Like, marketing is a lot different now. You almost have to be out there all the time. And he loves this stuff. Let him talk about it. So yeah. I'm all for it.
You can mute words.
Yeah, you can mute words.
You don't like them, mute them.
And the other thing, too, with DC Fandom, and I kind of wish... I think Marvel might have missed the boat on this, but Star Wars Celebration happens every other year, every 2 years.
Right.
I think DC and Marvel should do their own convention every other year or so. Like, yeah, still, like, because it's not like they don't skip New York City Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con some years. Right. And then plus, it's not like they say like, oh, Disney's not showing up to here because we're doing D23. They're doing their own thing. Let them do their own thing. It's fine. But man, I feel like DC right now, if they were to have like DC Fandom as an actual 3-day event where you have actors, voice actors, comic book artists, writers, inkers, animators, showrunners across the history, not just like, don't just bring in Corn Sweat and Pattinson, which they should do.
But
bring in everybody, like whoever still feels like hanging around from the Snyderverse, bring them in.
Yeah.
Like whoever's this sounds really dark, but I mean, who's ever still around from Batman animated series, bring them in. Right.
Oh, Mark Hamill would be there for sure. Like even at like Star Wars Celebration, you have like Ashley Eckstein coming in talking about Clone Wars still, and that show's been off the air for a bit. But yeah, I mean, there's a long history. Like I would sit in on a panel where it was just Burt Ward.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. 100%.
Talking about his Adam West and his big dick, and like, I'd go and sit and listen to the same stories that he's been telling over the years. But to be able to be in person, like, that would be totally awesome. I feel like DC's got a rich enough history to do that. And they've been
it's almost 100 years. We're at almost 100 years.
But I mean, even like you can have like writers panels. I mean, DC,
of course, yeah.
Even if it's small, I mean, I'm sure Star Wars Celebration, which started like...
Well, it started off in Indianapolis, of all places. And it was to kick off episode 1. But they had everyone from episode 1 there. Like
they just had like rainy... It was like tents, right? And it was like raining and stuff. It was like just like it doesn't have to be the biggest thing. Like, let's go do it at like a Hilton Ballroom or something. And, you know, there's going to be plenty of vendors. There's going to be plenty of DC stuff out there. I mean, you can get, you're wearing your Mondo style hat. Like, they just released the Superman record. Like, you can have them set up with figures and records and music. Like, there's so many different media out there that has DC branding on it that you can create like a pretty big like exhibit hall and have, you know, the cast of Justice League Unlimited, the cast of Like, let's get like even that.
Well,
show,
you get Bruce Timmon, you get Shane Glines,
yeah,
you get Dini, you get Barnett, Andrea Romano, you get everybody.
yeah.
Get all
Sam
the behind
Register, all those dudes.
Yes, right. And then, but you were saying like with vendors, like just even if you bring in Mattel for like, let's say they do this next year. Let's say they do it next year, this year. Like,
let's hurry up before the end of the year so we can get Todd in there too.
That's right. Well, I think you'd still get Todd because I think he's still going to be releasing stuff through DC Direct.
Okay.
Like statues and stuff, right? So you could still have Todd there, and Todd would be great to have there anyways, just as a comic book personality. Then of course, like you said, you have Mondo. You bring in the Alex Ross gallery, right? There's I know we're
Topic a booth.
Give Hot Topic a booth, dude. There's so much, and then I could not even imagine how bonkers it would. Because if they said, "Hey, we're gonna have John Cena here for photo ops," he would show up in costume.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Like, man, Peacemaker photo ops with Eagle-Y? Sign me up.
Shit. Yeah. Count me in. Dude, what have you been thinking of Peacemaker?
Love it. Oh my God. Here's what gets me excited about Peacemaker and the James Gunn verse in a whole is that it is very clear that Peacemaker exists in Superman.
Yeah.
And again, because we're talking about Batman Day and all that kind of stuff as well, the contrast between Peacemaker and Superman is vast. Like it is, but it still feels like the same universe.
Which is crazy because they keep talking to me about these next 3 episodes coming up. Nobody's seen them. The screeners went out up to episode 5. I wasn't fortunate enough to get those ahead of time. I've had to watch them week to week. It's been driving me nuts. But then now we're in the mode where like nobody knows what's happening in the next one except for the people involved. And James Gunn keeps teasing that like this is setting up the rest of the DCU and Man of Tomorrow and all this stuff. And it's so funny to me that he's saying that. And as soon as they finish this episode 5, which is the one that's, not secretive, the day after Superman shows up on HBO Max so that people watch that and get familiar with Superman before they get into Peacemaker episodes 6, 7, and 8. I think it's so funny that Superman is one of the first words out of his mouth is like golly. And he says like, what the hey? And he's so purely Big Blue Boy Scout Superman.
Yep.
I think it's funny in order to catch up with Man of Tomorrow, you have to watch the most insane orgy scene I've ever seen commit to film in Peacemaker. And it's so funny. And I get it. They're vast and I'm glad that they're doing different stuff. But for like James Gunn to be like, you're going to want to watch these last 3 if you want to move forward. And it's like, but if you watch that first one, buckle up.
Yeah, this is not for kids. We're making this very clear right now.
Yeah.
And here's what's funny is that like when people are already talking about James Gunn's Batman, they're already looking at the blue, the gray, the Robin, all this stuff because they're looking at this Superman. And I'm like, look at Peacemaker. We're going to get something that's in the middle of this. And James Gunn seems to understand that just because they're in the same universe, you can't have Gotham look like Metropolis and vice versa. Right. And I think that was another problem that a lot of, like, I feel like before James Gunn, I feel like Warner Brothers was struggling with that. Everything had to be dark. Everything had to be gritty. And it was just like, no, if I want that, I will watch Batman. That's what Batman's there for. I want something fun, uplifting. I don't know. Hang on. I brought some stuff here. This actually
look at the comics.
Look at the comics. I don't know if you have read these. These are some of my favorite comic books that are out right now. And it's these Superman versus Superman Meshi.
Okay, I have not read those.
These are pretty much advertisements for Japan.
Okay.
And what it is Superman on his lunch break, he will fly to Japan on lunch and he will go to restaurants and order food. that is his thing. That's what he'll go again. Like, hey, we'll go to this place, and in every kind of chapter, he goes. It'll have like a big thing of like, hey, I'm going to this restaurant. This is why this restaurant is special. So it goes to like a lot of like chain restaurants. He brings Batman and Wonder Woman and all that kind of stuff with him to go eat. And but he explains all these restaurants, then goes through the menu, why it's so good, and just like any kind of like, all these beautiful artwork of all the food. And, it's Batman's kind of being a snob at first because he's like, well, I am rich and I feel like I should have rich people food. He's like, Superman's like, no, this is fun and it's affordable. This is why it's great. But yeah, everybody's in it. Superman and Lex Luthor have rival foodie Instagram accounts.
Okay.
It's, like I said, it gets a little weird and a little fun. Also in here, he goes to 7-Eleven in Japan.
Amazing.
Right? I highly recommend this. Okay. It's called Superman versus Meshi, Superman versus Food. It is so much fun. It is super, super cute. And like I said, everybody's in it. Like, I know Green Lantern has not appeared on the cover yet. Okay. Green Lantern's in there, and it's a very weird mix. Like, when you get Batman appearing, he will be driving Keaton's Batmobile.
Okay.
He'll look a little Ben Affleck-y.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, every now and then, a little drop of Batman animated series goes in there. So you get like a mixture of all the different versions of all these characters.
That's great.
Which is so much fun. So I'm going to... So like I said, if you want something that's fun and light, but still has like... Again, this is what's so great about DC and Marvel. I mean, Marvel can do this too. Just comic books in general. Like, you can have that kind of fun. But like going back to like Peacemaker and Batman and Superman, one thing that even this understands and that James Gunn seems to understand more than the studios understand is that just because they're in the same universe doesn't mean they all have the same tone.
Right. I just saw there's a podcast called The House of R. My friend Vactor sent it to me. Where James Gunn is talking about, again, he's been watching dailies from Clayface, and he's like, it's a completely different tone than any of the other stuff they've been working on. He said he's been watching dailies for Lanterns, and he keeps saying grounded, and the fact that it doesn't feel like it's silly or out of place, it feels like it's in the real world. It just happens to have like magic rings. So like this is bothering me. So for James Gunn, let me ask this, because Dave asked it earlier. Will Robert Pattinson meet Aaron Pierre one day? I mean, in real life, maybe as Batman and Jon Stewart, not sure. What are your thoughts on the Batman, which I love the Batman, and I can't wait for the Batman 2, and I loved Penguin. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my friend Mick, who just won an Emmy for the music for the Penguin.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Did an amazing job. What are your thoughts on Matt Reeves, the Batman, to begin with, and then what do you think as far as what do you want from the DCU?
Oh, that's a loaded question. Okay, so as far as the Batman goes, that is my favorite Batman movie. I'm able to push nostalgia aside. I understand what I love because I'm nostalgic for it, right? Batman Forever.
Yep.
Batman Returns. I love those movies. I will always Mask of the Phantasm. Mask of the Phantasm was my number one movie for like the longest time.
Yeah.
And when I saw the Batman, there were parts where I was like welling up because I was like, I can't believe I'm seeing this.
Yeah.
This feels like Batman. Like he's trying to solve mysteries. He's going through. He's collecting evidence.
He's punching guys.
He's punching guys in the throat.
Opening scene where he's just like, you hear the footsteps and you hear the Michael Giacchino music.
Yes,
and it's almost like it reminds me of Jaws. Like you hear that and you know the shark's in the water. You hear his music and you're like, okay, Batman's nearby.
Yeah,
and just those footsteps, and then he just starts wailing on those dudes at the the subway platform, and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I was impressed by that movie. I thought that movie was amazing.
And even like with the Riddler, I remember like at first seeing the pictures and I was like, he looks a little edgelordy.
Mm-hmm.
Like but let's see. And I'm glad I went in with an open mind about it, because not only was that Riddler amazing, like just how he was written, but
Right.
by the time when they captured him and you see him in Arkham, or with his glasses and the hair, like just like his face and everything, I was like, that's the Riddler. Like, it's still comic book accurate. And I kind of felt like, because this feels like a very year one Batman,
mm-hmm.
I feel like all that stuff can get comic book accurate. We can get to that point.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I could see the Riddler leaving Arkham and saying, I'm a new man. And having the jacket,
the suit,
having the suit, right? And I'm just like, doesn't necessarily need the bowler cap. If they want to do it, do it. But I was like, I could see that happening where it's just like, okay, here we are, right? And he can't help himself.
When the movie was getting to the end of it, and you see Batman with the flare, and he's like, it's like the bright light, and he's like, he's been in the shadows this whole time. And just seeing him like lit up and illuminating and being sort of, it's like a coming out party. Like everybody sees him. Here he is. He's shining a light.
People.
Like, I'm like, okay, so maybe in the next one it could be the point where he puts on the gray and blue. But maybe? I don't know if that will happen. I feel like it has such a distinct look. The first one has such a distinct look that it would be hard to go that route.
Yeah, I know a lot of us, and myself included, we want to see Robin in the next one, or it doesn't even necessarily have to bring us Robin, but like even if the movie ends with him adopting Dick Grayson,
right?
I feel like a trilogy where kind of like the next one we get that, we get Robin, and I kind of, it always takes me back to like New Frontier. And that like, so you're bringing kids, right? He's like, well, I don't want to scare kids.
Yeah.
I'm not here to scare kids. I'm here to scare criminals.
God, New Frontier is perfect.
It is.
It's so perfect.
It is perfect.
Jesus Christ. And then like, as far as DCU, have you been fan casting? Have you been like?
Here's the funny thing is rumors? That I usually me as someone who works in film, and who has personally himself has caused rumors that did not exist by people just speculating from things they've seen on screen that I have made, where I was like, this was just for fun. And now all of a sudden people are saying there's casting rumors of this. I'm just like, no, that's not how this works. So knowing how the internet industry works as far as casting rumors and insiders say this. No one's saying anything.
Maybe of it, agents. Maybe the Alan Richardson's agents are or something.
Maybe, and at the same time, like now it's like because again, I'm not in that spot where I could ever be like that's false because one, no one knows who I am. There's no credibility. So if I told people they were wrong, who am I? Who the hell are you? Right? So it doesn't matter. And two, seeing James Gunn do it to people where it's like, nope, not true. Nope. That's false. It's like like therapeutic where I'm just like, shut them down. Shut them all down.
Yeah. Like it's one of the things. It's one of the things with like that I find refreshing with James Gunn as opposed to like Lucasfilm or Marvel, where like James Gunn will not only like squash stuff, but like drop hints. Like people were asking about like other Charleston Comics characters showing up in Peacemaker. And his response would be like, "You might be in luck." Like he doesn't like when he starts squashing stuff enough, you know that when he's like teasing something on the positive side. So like I really appreciate the transparency because the thing is with this dude, like maybe Marvel shouldn't have announced Blade unless you're ready to go. With James Gunn, it's like. He's ready to go. so
I feel
if this stuff gets out, like they're only going to have to wait like 2 years tops.
As as the world is starting to learn, the bottom line with Disney is money, pleasing shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
That is a thing. And I feel like, because I don't feel like Warner Brothers makes the promises to shareholders about like, hey, shareholders, don't worry, we're going to make our money back with such and such and this and whatever with DC, where I feel like with Marvel and Star Wars, that the shareholders look at those two major properties and go, when are they making me money? Where's my money, bitch? Right? That's
we haven't seen a single movie that was announced at a celebration like 5 years ago. Well, no Lando, no Rogue Squadron, Grogu and Mandalorian are supposedly coming out.
Well, no, those are so I know Mando and Grogu are definitely coming out because they are definitely being worked on.
Yeah,
Starfighter's definitely coming out because we got a picture, right? So I think and it's funny now, like with Star Wars, like all they need to do is show us a picture and we go, okay, so now it's almost like, it's not to get us excited. It's to like actually be like, okay, so you're actually making it.
Yeah. As soon as I see a picture of Daisy Ridley on set, then I'm going to be dubious. And I thought that same way about Lanterns. I was like, Lanterns is never coming out. They did have an announcement, I think at a fandom. No, it was at a WB like shareholders thing where they discussed Lanterns, and this was back when it was like
where they were still talking like Gods and Monsters, which we haven't heard in a long time
like,
either.
Jeff Johns is doing a movie with Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, and then Lanterns is going to be like an anthology with Alan Scott, Guy Gardner, and they had Alan Scott and Guy Gardner cast, and like Jessica Cruz, and that, and I was like, show me any still, and I will believe it. Right. And even when they when James Gunn came in, did his announcement video, which he needs to do more of those, like kind of the state of DC, and maybe do fandom. But that video I watched so many times because I'm like, there's hope. There's hope because he says Lanterns. And Lanterns is finished filming.
Yep.
We've seen like 2 leaked behind the scenes pictures. And then we've got the one main picture of Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler, and the only reason it's Green Lantern related is because you can see a ring on Kyle Chandler's hand. I talked about that picture. I did a live stream. I like jumped on so fast and did a live stream 20 minutes about that single picture. I was like, dude, I'm just like clamoring for shit. And as much as I love Peacemaker, like I need it to end faster than in 3 weeks because the next thing to come out is Lanterns, and I need anything. And then the thing I'm clinging on to is that Peacemaker ends the day before New York Comic Con,
and
because Lanterns is the next thing, I'm like, I need to be ready to do a live stream as soon as anything Lanterns happens. I keep hearing it's good. They keep saying it's good, but I've yet to see anything.
That's what's fun, and I have a feeling we're going to get a trailer for that at Christmas time.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be early 2026.
Yeah, so I think
I'm assuming
we'll get it
first quarter, so latest March.
Yeah.
I think someone did. I think my friend Will over at the Green Lanterns podcast did like a timeline and was like, okay, this is when Supergirl is, so they're going to want to finish Lanterns by then. And he went back 8 weeks and was like, it's God, like this is the last day it can possibly start. And I think it was March or something.
That's cool.
And I heard Supergirl might be being pushed forward. Someone posted a thing and said, listen to me. I don't know.
Again, unless James Gunn says it or it's coming directly from Warner Brothers or like DC, I am not believing a damn thing I read, because you know, we can, you know, it's that kind of speculation can sometimes ruin things. And I feel, like, well, it depends. If some people just get married to their own speculation. Like it's really, really weird.
My hunch is I agree with you as far as the Christmas Lanterns trailer release. But I believe since New York Comic Con is like 2 days after, or the day after Peacemaker, I'm assuming we'll get our first possible image of what the suits are going to look like.
Oh,
possibly either or concept art or at least a logo reveal or something. It's DC's next thing. They have to advertise in some way. And my fingers are crossed that Peacemaker will have somebody in there, either Aaron Pierre or Kyle Chandler, or Guy makes a return. I'd love to see Guy in his classic outfit instead of the Lord Tech, Justice Gang outfit. Like I'm my fingers are crossed.
I am seriously trying to think of like which character ties into where things might be going, because things have like we're going interdimensional with this doorway, which, by the way, that's such an amazing story idea. Props to James Gunn for that. This whole thing you put in a door frame, it's just like brilliant. Like that whole origin story of Peacemaker and them going hunting.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant. Like
So
it's so like, because you're sitting there legit just going, you're feeling ill, but you're also just like, yep, that's exactly who these people are.
Yeah,
that's
that
exactly
tracks.
who this, like just and I'm trying to, because again, I can't help it either. Sometimes when the show's done, you're like, well, if they're gonna bring in somebody, who the hell do you bring in? Because it's like, maybe Mr. Terrific at this point maybe might be the only one I can really kind of think of.
Or
Metamorpho, right? But I'm also trying to because now, spoiler alert, we're getting into spoiler territory if you've not caught up on Green Lantern, on Peacemaker. Yeah, because now they're all going dimension hopping to go get him back, because he's just like, nope, screw this. This world sucks. This one rules. And I still feel like there's a twist there that we haven't gotten with this new world. And I don't
listen. I'll tell you what the twist is. I my wife noticed it right away. If you watched this week's Peacemaker and you saw the park in Earth 1,
yep,
everybody in the park is very diverse. In Earth 1.
Yes. Because I noticed it too. I noticed the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's very not diverse over there.
Because you go to that office, and even characters that are of color in Peacemaker don't seem to exist in that world.
Yeah. And Judo Master's going to get in there, and that's not going to go well for Judo Master.
Oh shit!
It's not going to be good for. There's something I thought of, which I'm kind of hoping happens. And I haven't seen anybody else talk about this, but I'm assuming the other universe, it's all people that are white, shades of white. Like they don't pass the paper bag test, as they say.
Right.
I would love to see David Cornsweat in this universe as Superman Red Sun.
Why not?
How nuts would that? Like people would go ape shit.
What if it was Cavill?
What if it
like they could do it? If they wanted to go freaking bonkers, and then because my first thought before it started to clue in of how white this world is, I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to do an Earth 3 thing already, with where he's considered a big hero, even though this family is trash, because also so is Ultraman and Superwoman, right? They're trash too, but they're also heroes, or but I guess they're not really heroes in Earth 3. They are feared, and they are they are the that's what the Justice Lords were based off of, right? So it was, oh man, dude, so exciting.
I need to know what's happening. But the way and I feel like James Gunn has really been hyping these next 3 episodes. So I'm my expectations are kind of high.
Yep.
But we'll see. He's a DC fan, so he knows what he's doing. He's it's going to be crazy. Yep. I agree. We should get a DC fandom back.
It's time. Like, it's time. Like, I think if James Gunn going out and introducing all these people, and not just like, he could do a podcast there. And oh my gosh, why am I blanking? I'm always blanking. If I'm live, I blank. His voice of the Flash, Michael Rosenbaum.
Got it. Yeah.
Right, get him in there hosting too.
Yeah,
because he has this amazing podcast. Right, and you could have him going on there and moderating and hosting. James Gunn's another one. Hell, get oh my gosh! See, I'm blanking again. She played Lois Lane.
Rachel Brosnahan, or
get her in there.
Here's the thing. So this is what I think they could do: is you have the Warner Brothers lot, you have all those hangars. Stick all the Batmobiles in one of those hangars.
Yep.
Bring out 1 billion folding chairs, fill one of those hangars up with a stage, invite people to come, watch this presentation, do the DC fandom. You could have the drone shots of the hangar with the Warner Brothers tower on the outside and Batmobiles, and just fill this place full of stuff, and have all the press go there and take all the videos of all the things they have, and then just start doing announcements. But do announcements of things that are done. Like James Gunn only wants to talk about things that are scripts that are like finished. But like we have Lanterns, Supergirl, Clayface, all like in production or post-production. Like you do one big like hour thing, like a Nintendo Direct. You could just do one of these things where it's just like, here's what's coming, here's what's done, and then this Wonder Woman movie is already, the script is done and it's in the works, and here's how we're doing it. Like, let's like only tease stuff that's going to exist, not like Lando or Rogue Squadron, but like stuff that's really happening. Make it a thing where it's like people who don't follow James Gunn every day and see him post all of this stuff, like consolidate it all into one thing. And then if that does well, then start expanding it into like have it at the LA Convention Center and let's get DC fandom to be a regular event that people can go to.
I have a better venue. And you said it without saying it. They should do this at the Warner Brothers studio lot.
Okay.
That's where because they have some of the Batmobiles there, not all of them.
Right.
So unload the warehouse, get them all on those streets.
Yeah.
Right? You get them all set up there. You could have a couple of the whichever studios are not being used. You set those up for panels. And then you could do outdoor panels as well. Plus, you got to remember, they still have buildings in that studio lot that were used as exterior shots for Batman 66.
Uh-huh.
Right? The City Hall is still there from Batman 66.
Right.
You've got the alleyway that's still there from Batman Forever. Right? Put that Forever Batmobile there. You park your 66 Batmobile there. You can put the Tumbler wherever. You can put Keaton's wherever, right? And Battinson's wherever. Like, it's just like you could set all this stuff up. You could have a bat signal shining onto buildings. And because there's so much space, you could bring in so many people. And again, you just take one of the studio like the studio buildings. You could divide that up into areas for panels, and you could have another one for photo ops and signings.
Yeah.
Easy. You could set up an artist alley in there, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so much you could do.
Because Warner Brothers does do studio tours. In fact, today they're hosting an event for Batman Day.
Yep.
I was invited, but it was like $85, and I'm like, I don't really have the money to spend on Batman Day. Green Lantern Day, I'm over there.
Yeah,
but it's
I have $95 for for Green Lantern.
But that's the thing is they have stuff set in place to deal with crowds. I used to go see like Conan O'Brien's show there, and they had stuff set up for people to get on the lot and security and all that stuff. Like they can do it. And they don't have to go rent out the LA Convention Center.
Right. They wouldn't have. I think that, again, the money would come down to like the celebrities across the spectrum, as Green Lantern would say, right? So you'd have your, from comics to movies, right?
Yeah.
And then try to get whoever you can across those 85, like those 90 years of DC, right? And like do panels about the Golden Age. Do panels about Bob Kane and
Bill Finger.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and educate people about that whole situation. Do a screening of Bill and Me.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Again, like, because DC also has all these movies and animated shows and TV shows, they could do screenings. There's a theater there. There's multiple theaters there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you could do so much in that studio lot.
You could run movies all day.
You could. Right?
Like, I haven't seen Batman 66 on the big screen.
Right? A great example.
Like,
right? And then imagine, like you were saying, imagine Burt Ward coming out and introducing it.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. Also, a lot of these people live in Los Angeles as well. Could we please get a Keaton, Nicholson, Pfeiffer, DeVito reunion, please?
Dude, people will go crazy. We're almost at an anniversary for Batman Returns, right? Coming up on like 35 or something.
35. It was just 30, not too long ago. But yeah, like it's
get there.
We're at Forever's right now.
Yeah.
Right. And bring in Schwarzenegger too. Bring in Schwarzenegger, bring in everybody. Bring in but if you brought in everyone from the Burton, including Tim Burton, I think that right there, that's your ticket sales.
Yeah.
Like that would do it.
Yeah. 100%. Get Cavill in there.
Yeah, get Reynolds in there.
Dude, listen, like I keep thinking, what if Peacemaker opens up one of those doors and Ryan Reynolds is in there? Like
that could happen too. That could happen too. But I would love to see. I'd love to see Reynolds also come back to the DCU, but I got a feeling that's going to now be a conflict of interest, depending on where people's contracts are.
Right. But I mean, Feige and Gunn are buddies.
Right?
They can sort it out. These rumors. Again, the Superman Spider-Man book on James Gunn's desk. I'm like, you guys can do the coolest thing ever and do a Spider-Man Superman movie and make all of the money.
It would be. I know there would be so many legal ramifications with Disney on this. I think Disney's a bigger problem than Feige, and I think that those head honchos are the bigger problem. But I would love to see, like, when they're doing all their multiverse jumping, just to open the door.
But I mean, if you just look at kind of what Superman did versus Fantastic Four, I'm like, maybe Disney could be like, I don't know, maybe we can get half of all the money.
Right. Just something.
Yeah.
Just something. Because Fantastic Four was great too.
I love Fantastic Four.
It was a great year.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it was a great
I wish it had done better.
I just, across the board, I wish movies would do better.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's the Alarma, which means it's been an hour. I feel like we've been chatting. I don't want to keep you too much longer.
Yeah, I actually have to jump to another stream over on my Star Wars channel to help to stream with my buddy Steve to do some unboxings. Okay,
do a plug for that. Do plugs. I'm going to have links in the show notes, and I can toss up a card there tomorrow with a link to that episode.
All right. So first off, obviously, that I'm here because I do Gotham City Tonight. I do that with Alex Brewer, who's one of the sculptors over at Mondo Collectibles. His work includes Batman animated series, Superman animated series, X-Men animated series. He's done some of the stuff for Ninja Turtles and stuff as well. The man is insanely talented. So I do that with him. And Alice, she comes on every now and again as well. Her and she makes her own comic called All Haven Academy. That is on webtoons.com. And I work with her in feature animation. We work together. We met on Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. And on Spider-Verse 2, I guess I should make that clear. So we met on Spider-Verse 2, and then we just hang out now all the time. And she also worked on K-pop Demon Hunters. Big deal.
Yeah.
That movie, right?
Yeah.
Big deal. And then those are on Wednesday nights at 7:00 Pacific. On Tuesdays, I'm jumping back and forth here, on 6:30 Pacific, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. I do Toy Anxiety with the crew over at Yes Have Some Podcast, and we just talk toys. We just get into it. We love toys. And then on DL44 Network, that's our Star Wars channel. I started with a bunch of friends. That's why we call it a network. Just because we wanted a place to drop our Star Wars content. We were always kind of like, I want to talk about this, but our channels didn't really have a place for it to fit. So we just started our own channel, and then my buddy Steve was like, I want to do unboxings. Do it here. And so that's where I'm going to be after this. But yeah,
go to it. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah. This is great.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. Just mostly Dave. The rest of the spam people from Twitch and Kick can go kick rocks. But yeah, thank you so much. You'll have to come on again sometime. We could chat more. Maybe next Batman Day, or if there's a Green Lantern Day, or DC announces some sort of fandom. Definitely come back if you get a chance. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Go check out the shop over at Fourth Wall. I have shirts that now just have the credit directed by Martin Campbell.
Nice.
Which matches his end credit screen credit for Green Lantern 2011. And there's a lot of other stuff there too. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, beware my podcast. It's Lanterns Live. Bye.
Goodbye. Buy some comics today.